And we now invite Kryon to bring us a message for these times.
Greetings, dear ones. I'm Kryon of Magnetic Service. Why do we ask you, those listening to this, to find a state of peace and tranquility? And the best answer I can give is because what you experience right now as a human being listening to this, perhaps who is not in trouble, is that you can take that which you generate and literally send it around the world. That's what a light worker is. That's truly the definition. The lighthouses who guide those to safe harbors because you have a light. I would like to define something now and reveal something. The definition I would like to define is recovery. For those who have followed me, the messages that I have given this particular time in the planet, you might have wondered why it is that I have labeled this year the year of discovery, the year of recovery. Both of them, actually. But recovery was the word I chose. The discovery is ongoing. And because you only allow one word per year from me, I didn't continue the discovery. Instead, I said recovery. But truly, you are still discovering things, aren't you? You're discovering that it's not over. Recovery. How could I describe this year as the year of recovery? What are you recovering from? And now I will reveal it. Almost at the end of this year, I will reveal what this means. For it's profound, dear ones, what is going on right now. When someone is in a dark coma and they've been there for some time, you go to the hospital perhaps, or the place where they're kept perhaps, and you check in to see if they've awakened. And they're still in a coma. And then one day you might get that message from the hospital or wherever they are being kept that there is an awakening starting to go on. They are recovering from the coma. And you may go there and they're opening their eyes. What has happened since I went into the coma? What is it that's new or different? What have I missed? How long have I been in the coma? This is the metaphor for a recovering humanity from a dark coma of the past that you've been in. You're starting to awaken from a darkness into a discovery of light. And in the process, there is friction. Dark against the light that is showing up. This is not new news. And for those of you hearing this for the first time, dear ones, this was predicted by the ancients, and you can see it in the stone walls that they've scribed it in. This is the time, the precession of the equinoxes, that humanity would either destroy itself or awaken. The time has passed for the destruction. You have been awakening for some time. In the month of November, I'm going to give 4 channels about this awakening from darkness. This may be the first, making it 5. But this is what is going on. Humanity in general is starting to awaken to light. And in that, those who are invested in the dark really are in trouble. Have you noticed, even just this year, how the sparks are there, and how things are happening you never expected to happen in ways that are alarming. You might think the dark is winning. That's not what's happening. The dark is losing profoundly, dear ones, to the light. Take a look at the reaction of the wars on the planet at this moment compared to the reactions of the wars in the past on this planet 50 to 80 years ago. It seems that when one country goes, the others follow. They polarize themselves, they take sides, and it becomes another world war. In this particular case, those battles which are occurring have caused the countries all over the planet not to take sides except one: compassion. And they're saying, how could this happen? We're not going to get involved. You know, dear ones, that something has happened when Switzerland is no longer neutral. You know that. Europeans know that. You know something has changed on this earth when the countries don't then raise their hands and says, well, yes, I'm going to join these and that, and there's polarization. There just isn't. It's more like small groups are making a lot of horror. That's different. And they have something in common, if you've noticed. Take a look at the commonalities that are happening with all that which is horrific at this time. They want to take you back 50 years, maybe even 80, to a time that all of you recognize and know about because those were your grandfather's times. It's not going to work. And yet there are still those who believe it will, are invested in it, and as I said, and I have said, and I asked my partner to tell you, if you buy into the hopelessness and the fear, they're winning. I know you don't want to hear this, but this was expected. I know you don't want to hear that. It didn't have to be as horrific as it is. Humans have free choice on how to treat things that they always knew were just a little bit out of balance. For instance, let me ask you this. Mothers, fathers, wherever you are on this planet listening to this, what do you teach your children about your neighbors? What have you perhaps unconsciously taught your children about who is around you, even on the planet? And I will say this, as long as you teach them who to hate, and you pull out the past and tell them why they should hate them, that's where the hopelessness comes from. Mothers, fathers, if I had some advice for all of you, I would say this: be careful what you teach your children. You can teach them the history that used to be, and you can tell them you can transmute it to the history that can be. Instead of perpetuating something for centuries, you can stop it now. The advice for humanity: get younger leaders. And do it by choice. Because these are the ones who are not invested in an old history like those, perhaps, who are here now. There are so many things that humanity can do right now to temper all of this and win much, much faster. Win means peace. Win doesn't mean win a war. It's a consciousness victory that we choose, that you choose. And that's why you're listening to this program, perhaps. I have a suggestion. I had suggestions to the United Nations. I've been there 7 times. Those suggestions, of course, are laughed at because they're not practical. They go against political savvy, and none of them have ever been taken. to heart. But now here's one that someone may actually put together. It may not be in a perfect way, but it will cast attention in a very, very benevolent way to what's happening. All of you are wishing to do something about what is going on. And I am telling you, the energy of 1 billion people thinking the same benevolent, compassionate thoughts are profound. They change so much. It's just a matter of getting you together. That's how many could be involved. More than 1 billion, if you did it right. A new kind of World Peace Day, perhaps, except it's not a day. It's 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Where everyone on the planet who can stops. Whether it's the daytime or the nighttime, or they have to get up in the middle of the night to do it, there's 4 minutes where everything will be turned off, which is media. 4 minutes. And everyone will cast their eyes upon seeing everyone on this planet as God sees them. That works for all religions, dear ones. See those in trouble as God sees them and love them accordingly. That's all. That's all. You don't have to send them a doctrine. You don't have to send them what you think they need. Just ask to send the energy to those in trouble that God sees and wants as well. The creative source, spirit, God, whatever you wish to say, is common to man. You could do this, and someone can put that together so that when the entire planet starts to focus on that, there'll be an awakening of the others. This is profound stuff. I want to contribute. There'll be some, perhaps, objections because the doctrines aren't right. It's time for you to relax that. 4 minutes of sending peace. What does your God say about that? Your God says, do it. Do it. Muslims, Jews, Christians, others, it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. The God is the same one. How does God see what you do right now? I will say to you, dear ones, it's time to change things, and this is the way it's done. This has been proven now so many times through the experiments of those who are trying to prove, see, and know about collective consciousness affecting other places. What if 1 billion people simply stopped for 4 minutes? 4, the structure of the universe, everything divisible by 4. The universe is in base 12. 4 minutes. Stop and think about those in trouble and send them what you have. There are those listening to this and say, well, that's not going to do anything. And if you think that, you haven't paid attention to the latest science. You haven't paid attention to what's going on in the planet and the changes of consciousness and how humans are starting to awaken and care about each other in a much better way. I am telling you that this planet is wakening up from a coma. They are recovering from darkness. The things you see on this planet now don't have to last and last and last. History does not have to repeat itself. And now I'll say the words. This could be the final battle. When you realize it doesn't work, when you realize none of them ever have, this could be the final battles of this planet. And if you make that so, everything starts to change. When this earth is a safe place to be, and safer, the inventions will be delivered to you that have been waiting to grow food, make electricity, clean the water. Stellar inventions you haven't thought of yet are waiting for you when you stop fighting with each other. I am Kryon. I see a multi-dimensional earth. I see energies that are lurking and waiting to come forward when it's no longer dangerous to come forward. These are the things I've always told you about. This planet has a light source you can't stop. And the dark ones are fighting for their existence, and they're going to lose. Stay with me. 4 minutes. Who's going to put that together? We can do this. You can do this. It's time. I am in love with you, all of you. These are the days I came for, I talked about, I predicted. Let's make them short. And so it is.